Does anybody want to do a haul? If you're on this video, you should say yes. So Barnes & Noble had their hardcover sale. When I saw that, I kid you not, I rearranged my entire day. And I went to this Barnes & Noble sale without like a list in mind. And I think that is such an incredible experience to go to a bookstore without a list and to just browse and to read descriptions and like go in totally blind with no like preconceived ideas of what's good and what's not. That was a very long-winded way of saying that I was happy to not be influenced by others as I went into this Barnes & Noble. I will say, even though I said I didn't have a list, I lied a little bit because I did kind of. I have already gotten the first book in the Crowns of Nyaxia series, and I'm planning on reading that early this year, early 2025. It'll probably be like February. I just like know that I'm gonna like that one. I've heard so many great things about it, and like the premise is 100% my vibe. So I knew that I was gonna like that one, and I wanted to go and get the other books in that series. So when I finish that first one, I can just go right into the next one. I don't have to like run to the store to get it. So first 3 books that I got at this Barnes & Noble sale were the rest of the Crowns of Nyaxia series. This first one, The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King, it was the only copy left, and the dust jacket is incredibly damaged, so it hurts my heart a little bit to spend money on this, but it was 50% off. So I guess if you're gonna buy a book with a damaged dust jacket, it's better to do it when it's 50% off. But I'm incredibly excited to get into this series, and I'm glad that I snagged their last copy. Because I don't know like a ton about this series, I think this is like the next book to read after that one. But I got the novella, the 6 Scorched Roses, and that was also 50% off. And lastly, I got the Songbird and the Heart of Stone, the last book that's out currently in that series. This one was not 50% off, but it was, and this is a weird way to market a sale. I don't know why you would say 1/3 off everything else, like say 33%, or make it a round number, like at 35 maybe, like 30, but this was 1/3 off, and so I got a deal on that too. Yeah, I got the rest of the Crowns of Nyaxia series, and I'm very excited to read that one this year. So after I knew that I wanted to get those 3 books to round out my copies for that series, I was with a friend and she said, you know, like, what are you like hoping for? Like, what do you want to read? And my response was dragons. I've read When the Moon Hatched. I've read Fourth Wing. Throne of Glass had like that element in it a little bit, although they weren't dragons, but like whatever. And I need more. Like if I could just read When the Moon Hatched again for the first time, that would have been fine, but I've already read it, so I needed something that like lived up to that vibe a little bit. They didn't have a ton of options, which I was disappointed about. Like the dragon books that they did have, it wasn't like exactly what I wanted. So I think I found one that will satisfy my need for a good dragon book. The Sky on Fire by Jenn Lyons. This one also was not 50% off. It had like that 1/3 off deal, so 33%. The cover literally says, there's like a quote from another author on this that says, "Nobody does dragons like Jenn Lyons." Sold. But I will go ahead and read the inside cover flap for this one. Soar into this daring standalone fantasy heist adventure full of conniving dragons, lightning banter, and high-stakes intrigue from the acclaimed author of the A Chorus of Dragons series. First of all, I love a standalone fantasy. It's fast, it's easy, and this one's about dragons. So like, say no more. The cover is beautiful. It kind of gives like the art style of Throne of Glass a little bit, which love. Okay. I haven't seen anything about this online. I haven't heard anything about it. It's been a long time since I've read a book that I haven't seen recommended on like Bookstagram or BookTok. So yeah, The Sky on Fire by Jenn Lyons. The last book that I got is a YA fantasy, and I think maybe I've seen stuff about this online, but I'm not fully sure. I might be making that up. And so this last one, and again, if I mispronounce this stuff, I am so sorry. I'm not doing it intentionally, is Heir by Sabaa Tahir. This one was also 1/3 off, 33%, whatever. I still, again, like, who puts fractions for a sale amount? Like, what? But a third off, great deal still. And because this is YA fantasy, the starting price was like $22. So automatically better deal. This one sounded amazing when I read the inside cover like description, but let me go ahead and read this inside description because it was truly, like, when I read it I was like, ooh, wait, okay, buckle up. An orphan, an outcast, a prince, and a killer who will bring an empire to its knees. Okay, say no more, but I'm gonna say more. Beloved storyteller Sabaa Tahir interweaves the lives of 3 young people as they grapple with power, treachery, love, and the devastating consequences of unchecked greed on a journey that may cost them their lives and their hearts. Literally. What does that mean? Literally. Okay, anyway, that's the description for Heir by Sabaa Tahir. I'm excited for this one. This sounds good. I think, is this a series? Is it a standalone? It doesn't say. So if you know, let me know. Is this what people do here? Let me know in the comments if this is a series, because it actually does not say, so that's a mystery, but we'll find out, I guess. I actually really like YA fantasy because I'm not really a spice person. Nothing wrong with it, like it's just like, for me, I prefer closed door romance, and so I tend to like YA fantasy because the focus of the story is on the adventure and the plot rather than the romance. But that's the haul that I got at the Barnes & Noble cover sale. I'm excited. I feel like I've got some really great reads lined up for 2025, and I'm really looking forward to getting to those and like reading all fantasy. Like, I just want fantasy. Just like serve it up to me on a silver platter. That's all I need in my life right now, is just fantasy, 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 fantasy. I think I have added to my collection and have set myself up for success in that. So that's the video. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know if you've read any of these down in the comments. Stay tuned, I guess. And if you have watched this, thank you. And I hope that you liked it. Goodbye.